Listen up, little lady. There's a kickback in my area. Skaters and ballers jerking. See that? Hysteria. Red cup in your hand. They leaving. You staying. Nah, just playing. Just putting the ball in your hand. Let's go. So come on, come on. Go get over here. Shawty, we got things to do. Let's go. What's up with me and you? Come on, come on. Go get over here.
Mini skirt on, dip my body in glitter. Platform sneakers, all the boys want a picture. Two foreign cars, I make rich look richer. Save your breath, baby, I'm not going home with ya. Mini skirt on, dip my body.
Hello. You're now tuned in to the A Little Bit A Lot podcast. I'm your host, Kristen, and welcome back to another week. It's the lit, guys. If you're watching the video version of this episode, you may notice that we have a little change of scenery, and that's because we are at my childhood home, if you will, my mom's apartment. We're in my sister's room, aka my old room. She's turned this space up. And why don't you introduce yourself, Janay?
It's me.
It's me, Mario.
You say introduce yourself, Janay, so that doesn't even give me a chance to say my name. But it's Janay.
Everybody loves when Janay comes on the channel. For those who don't know, this is my sister, and that's my girl. So I just figured I would just come over and hang with her and just change it up a little bit, you know? Like, most of the time when I record my sister, I do it online, like virtually, when we like did our High School Musical series. If you haven't watched that yet, what are you waiting for? Like, we have covered High School Musical 1, 2, and 3 together and had such a good time doing it. So be sure to check that out. Okay. But yeah, I just love chatting and hanging with you. And you guys know that she is a recurring cast member. So she's doing her due diligence and showed up and showed out for your girl. And there's really no theme for this week's episode, guys. I just wanted to chill, have like a girls chat, you know, maybe talk about a little bit of nostalgia, talk about what's going on in our lives, upcoming, past, present, it's whatever, bruh. Like, we're here, we're turned, we're just chilling. Hey guys, post-production Kristen here. Just wanted to give you a heads up that there is a slight issue with the audio, like a subtle echo every once in a while throughout. I just wanted to let you guys know, but at the end of the day, it's not like the biggest deal. But yeah, so sorry about that, but I still hope that you guys, you know, listen to the episode in its entirety because it still turned out really great. Me and my sister had such a good time. So yeah, bye. So before we get into the gags, like I said, if you were watching on YouTube, make sure you like the video, comment down below to let me know what you think about the show, and subscribe. I'm almost on my road to 700 subscribers, so please click that subscribe button and turn those post notifications on. 90% of my viewers watch and don't sub. I know it's intimidating to commit to subscribing to a content creator, but I swear you won't regret it. Okay, we talk about mental health, we talk about pop culture. I've got you covered over here. And if you're listening on Spotify and Apple, rate that 5 stars, 5 little mama, you a 3-star, word to Nicki Minaj, and leave a review to let me know what you think about the show. You know that Yo Gotti song.
But like, the way you just throw it out there just so casually.
Because it's like, I ain't sleeping when I am in my dream car. Did I stutter? Harajuku hyphen Barbie. How did I think it's time to put the rice in? Am I a Nicki fan?
All up in the Sri Lanka.
No, you got to be ready, and you know how that is. You know how it is when it comes to Nicki. And click that follow button. There's a follow button on Spotify and Apple as well, so you're staying up to date with the show. So yeah, how you been, girl?
I've been good.
Life has been lifing for you. You know, she's like been turned up. You've been driving.
Yeah, I have driving anxiety, so I don't have my license yet, but I'm like over not being able to have freedom and having to have somebody take me places. So I'm like,
or to Beyonce, freedom, let me loose. Like
yeah. So yeah, I drove for a little bit in like a abandoned mall parking lot with my parents over the weekend, and it was fun. It was litty. I was freaking whipping that thing, and yeah, I'm gonna be on the road and probably, you know, later this year. So
you can see yourself.
Yeah,
I love that. Like,
so
when you can envision it, then you know, like, she's making progress. Yeah, there's nothing, I mean, like, there's no shame in not being able to drive, I said like lots of people in New York, specifically don't have driver's licenses and don't ever care to learn how to
But
drive.
like that's just like they have such a good public transport. Like maybe not good, but like they have an accessible.
Yeah, it's way more accessible compared to the area that we live in. The bus station here, the way that
They
the
be
bus
they
is,
be shootings at the bus station. They
no,
be wilding.
that is
Turns up.
true. There are always shootings happening for some reason at our local bus station. The downtown area is just rough. It's just rough a bit. And every time there's a shooting at the station, then my boyfriend's job has to go on lockdown because it's like near the bus station. And I'm like, protect the elderly. Like, what's going on, bruh? Like, they be turned up out here. And then, like, the way that the routes are set up for the bus are like so stupid. They're constantly changing the
I mean,
routes.
as a previous bus goer yourself,
Yeah.
you would know.
Yeah. Because you guys know, like, I'm an independent queen. And when I used to, like, work in my fast food job when I was in high school, I got tired, like Janay, of, relying on other people to take me to work. And my grandma was like being pretty annoying about giving me a ride, even though she literally lives up the street. So I'm like, okay, bet. Like, I'll figure out a way to get there on my own. Because I'm not, one thing about me, I don't be trying to hear it.
Yeah.
That's for sure. So I looked up what's going on with the bus stop, the situation. Put my little quarters in there and I did my dues, but it wasn't without a bit of trauma. That's for sure. I really had like some rough times with riding the bus. Like one time I was trying to catch up to the bus and I like missed it and I was like trying to run across the street to get to it and I tripped and fell in the middle of the street in front of a light and cracked my phone like right before work and I didn't have time to get it fixed. So I had to like go through my entire shift with a broken phone, which was like torture to me because the freak, like, when we're slow, what am I going to look at? Outside? What am I going to do? Work? What am I going to do? Clean up when we're slow? The freak? No, I'm going to sit down, find a quarter to sit,
And
and
play
be on
Mystic
my,
Messenger.
yeah, and play Mystic Messenger. Like, I
It
was
was a
not,
crazy era.
seriously, like, quite literally Mystic Messenger. If you know, you know. That day was literally so treacherous. Like, oh, I just never forget that feeling. And like after that, I'm like, something's got to change. Like, I need a car because this is crazy. And then like after work was done, I walked next door, which is like technically like two doors down to this phone repair shop and got my phone fixed and still like made it in time for the bus to get home. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm out of $80, all because I tripped and fell trying to catch the bus, but whatever the freak. And then one time I caught the bus and it was raining and I didn't know that it was going to rain. So I didn't have an umbrella and I pulled up to work and my shirt was wet, obviously. And coincidentally, was it corporate? Wasn't coming in that day. So they were like, this isn't a good look. You're walking around with a wet shirt. Like, can we get you another shirt, please? And I'm like, dang. And then plus that morning I also stepped in dog poop at the bus stop. It's just like, girl. So if anybody knows the struggle and the grind, it's me. That's for sure. But then after that, I like started Ubering. And I'm like, what is the point of even taking the bus? Because then like Uber started kind of like getting a little bit more like known in our area. So I would like Uber to work. And then shortly after, I didn't have to like Uber, but maybe like a month. And then I got my first car. But yeah, so you don't even, I walked so you could run, right?
Yeah.
I go through the trials and tribulations so sis can have a better life.
Yeah.
So you're feeling better about your driving progress.
Yeah. I feel like I was understanding it a lot more than I thought I would when, my dad was like telling me what to do. And the biggest thing I'm proud of is that I was good at braking, which is like nice because nobody wants to be, knocking all around.
Leaning with it, rocking with it in the whip.
Yeah. And I was doing like turns. I practiced my right turns. I practiced left turns.
Period.
We had to like envision an imaginary lane, and I was like doing good at staying in the lanes and stuff. And yeah, it'll be nice though when I actually do drive and I have my actual dream car because it's going to be small and little and cute. And so I feel like I'll be more confident kind of, whipping that thing because it'll be like a tiny little car. So,
Yeah, whipping a small car as someone who has an eco sport, like I just love small car energy. As much as I want a big Tonka and getting a Ford Bronco eventually and getting back to having like a bigger SUV, the convenience of having a little small whip is like really nice.
I started thinking about when you said whipping that car. I started thinking about that time when we were in the city where our dad lives, where our dad lives, and we were going to pick him up at his apartment. And then we were kind of lost. We didn't know where we were going. Kristen was driving.
Because his complex is literally so big.
He doesn't live there
Oh, yeah,
anymore.
yeah, right.
But yeah, and so we were like going through some sort of like driveway to get to like one of the buildings, but then we realized we were going the wrong way. So then Kristen just like started trying to whip it, but little did we know there was somebody behind us. So then when she turned, the car like swerved into the grass, and it was this big old like sound commotion. Like we didn't
Tiger marks.
Yeah, like
Iggy
there were
Azalea,
literally
like, what?
skid marks in the grass. Like this car was like had this drive like crazy to avoid, and then we were just like
Like he had to
we had
swerve in
to
that corner. Whoa, like what?
me and you sort of just were like we had to sort of just like
Like we literally just almost got into a bad accident.
yeah, so we were just like quiet the rest of the way trying to figure out where our dad lives because we were like yeah.
Well, it's just crazy that you were talking about malls, like the dead mall, because the Macy's in that mall is closing. Like we really are giving dead mall for real.
The
Like,
only big like anchor store that we have left is JCPenney, and I don't know, I don't really see that ending anytime soon because JCPenney for some reason still like be booming.
I know even at the other one that's like already dead for real. We have two local malls and one of them is like been dead, and the JCPenney is like mainly the main store that's open there. JCPenney, Bath and Body.
Bath
They
and
closed
Body,
that.
yeah, the Bath and Body and the mall closed. They moved.
Only recently though.
They dipped.
They held out for a long time.
Yeah.
And Planet Fitness. That Planet Fitness gonna keep pushing.
Yeah. That's why they had to make sure they had a outdoor entrance.
Right.
You can get to the Planet Fitness. You don't have to go to the mall to get to it because they were like, yeah, we probably don't foresee this mall lasting very long.
No, yeah.
Planet Fitness be booming though.
It do. I started thinking about also that story that you were sharing with me the other day or when last night we were talking on the phone about school just now, and I'm like we should segue into that. Like talking about like memories from school and like elementary, because guys, this story that she told me had me LMFAO down, like LOLing, bro. Like this is insane. Like we were saying that the kids from our area are genuinely a different breed.
Not just the kids, the adults too, actually.
Yes.
Everybody that is from around here, besides us, of course.
Yeah. And it's like, I don't even think that this is kind of like a prejudice, like uppity thing to say. I feel like this is just kind of a known fact. Like people know that the people from our area are notoriously just not
Our area just
not that bright.
they be wildin'.
Yes. Like it's the one of the highest crime like counties in America. I think it's on the top 5. I think the last time I checked the list.
Yeah.
They're just wild. The children and the adults, but specifically the children at the school we went to growing up are just a different breed. So just let's get into the story because this was just insane to me.
Yeah. So I was just telling her this story about how when I was in like maybe 6th or 7th grade, because we went to a school that went up to 8th grade, from kindergarten to 8th grade, and so this was like around my last years at the school. We were like too old to be at the playground. We were too old for recess. We technically weren't supposed to be having recess, but sometimes, like I said, we come from a crazy group of people. So the students would be wilding and the teacher would be like, I need a break. So they would take us, outside in like this big open field with like nothing in it but like a singular pine tree and the dumpster for the building.
Oh, I forgot the dumpster was over there.
Yeah, and we would all just kind of just, I guess, run around a bit and run off our energy, just get some fresh air.
And the children were always more calm once we came back inside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, these two girls, I guess, in the class, they were beefing or whatever. I wasn't a part of any of this. Like, that was not my friend group. That was not my crowd. But, it was kind of a small school. So,
everybody knows a little bit of something about something.
Yeah. So, they were beefing. And then, like, a bunch of the other groups, the other girls, that other, like, not my friend group, but, like, all the other girls in the class, they were like kind of instigating. And
because one thing about it, you ain't nobody ever gonna beef at our elementary school we grew up in without everybody in the class instigating it.
So we were out in the open fields with nothing to do, so these two girls, I guess, they were beefing. They were like, let's fight. Then they like scheduled a fight. So then to like hide the fact that they were fighting from the teacher, the rest of the group of girls formed a circle around the two girls that decided to fight, and they sung this children's song that like we grew up like playing. It's a game, but it also is a song, and you would like be in a circle, and then one girl would like jump out and start dancing, and it was called Mrs. Sally Walker.
You know, Mrs. Sally Walker walking down the street. All I know is Mrs. Sally Walker walking down the street.
Yeah, and then, hey girl, do your thing.
Do your thing. Okay, yeah. Do your thing, now stop. Wasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, period.
So, they disguised this fight as an innocent children's game. I remember me and my friend...
they're in the middle of the circle, and the rest of the girls in the class are surrounding them.
Yeah.
Pretending to play Mrs. Sally Walker. So they're in the middle of the circle fighting, and everybody else is like, Mrs. Sally Walker walking down the street.
Yeah, and me and my friend group, we were just kind of watching from the sidelines being like, this is weird. Like, oh my god, they're fighting, I think. I don't know if
that is crazy work to me. Like, when I tell you I was dead, bro, like, what do you mean everybody is in on it so much to the point that they are hiding the fight from the teacher and pretending to play Mrs. Sally Walker to let them fight? Like, that's crazy. I've never heard of such a crazier thing. Like, they're kids doing this.
Yeah, we were definitely around like 10, 11, 12.
That's crazy.
And so, yeah, me and my friend group were just kind of watching and being like, dang, that's crazy. And then we like weren't sure if the teacher even understood what was going on, or if she just didn't have enough energy and was like, they'll figure it out. Either way, the teacher didn't say nothing, and then they fought for a little bit. The girls sung, and then once the teacher called us back in and was like, it's time for us to go, let's dip, the girls that were fighting, when the circle emerged, the circle dispersed, and then the two girls that were fighting started walking back to class together, arms interlinked, and like I was just like, what is happening? Like, what is going on? Now y'all are friends again? Like, I don't know. But then that, I feel like that ties into what me and you were also talking about last night, about how children should be allowed to go up to the Secretary of State and have like a court appointed fist fight with their parents, like maybe once a year, maybe once every 2 years. Like,
we should be legally allowed to get our lick back once a year.
Out of all those whoopings,
all those punishments.
Me and Kristen were talking about this last night, about how, like, listen, I know our dad is gonna watch this. Love you, Dad. Love you down. Same with Mom. Like, no. Like, genuinely, I love y'all so much.
Like
Like,
every fiber of my being.
but like sometimes things get frustrating, things get annoying, and then there's like days where it's just like, you know what? I think we just need to fight.
We need to duke it out right now.
Like, no more words can be said, nothing else can be done. Like, me and you genuinely might need to fist fight.
Friendly though.
Yeah, like friendly, like obviously no like real super like doing damage, but like, so that's why I was telling Kristen that like you should be able to go to the Secretary of State or like the court of your local city, schedule an appointment, and then at the
And your
courthouse,
parent gets an invite being like, you're scheduled to fight.
at the courthouse there should be the place where the judge, you know, decides stuff, like the Judge Judy room, and then next door
Is the
there should
fighting
there should be a
room.
boxing ring. So then there can be like, you know, a referee, like a police officer, a
I wouldn't
medic.
even want boxing. I would want to.
Like, I think me and you might just need to fight. And like, it should be like a thing. Like, you need to have just like, you deserve your state appointed, court appointed, legal fist fight with your parents. Like, I feel like that would just like,
Or even if they gave it to us, like, you can legally have the appointed fight like once every other year.
yeah.
You know, like Hunger Games style, but except like legally children are allowed to do this.
Listen, we're not trying to be on no elder abuse type of time. It's just, it's all jokes. It's all fun and games. But it's
No,
like,
lol.
you know, some days it's just like there's nothing else we can do to resolve these issues between us. Like, we might just need to fight and then come back arms interlinked
Right.
like the girls at school. Like,
Because they said, you know what, that was the solution for us.
yeah,
Like we
they
could beat the brakes
worked
off
together.
of each other.
They found a solution to make their friendship work. I feel like me and you have been through those situations.
Oh, for sure. If you have a
Sometimes
sister,
me and you would fist fight and then be like, all right, love you.
no, yeah. I regret every fist fight we've ever had, though. Like I wish we weren't a couple every once in a while fighting sisters.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't do it often, but when we did, it was just like, yeah. But
Yeah, but honestly, conflict resolution. It's like, do you want to
children
award
don't
those
have
kids?
great conflict resolution skills. Like,
But they handled it. They handled it on their own, and that's
yeah,
so crazy. The end result of being like,
they were
"You
creative.
good? I'm good."
Yeah.
Like no, and that just like had reminded me of like just thinking about how fights feel like when you're in middle school. You know, like
Or you tell the story about the MySpace.
yes, I was just gonna get into that because it made me think about like they scheduled the fight during recess, but like that used to be a thing at our school. Like random, there were rarely that I know of fights that were random. Every fight that I know of, because I was always nosy, and I was like Janay said, her and her friends were kind of like, I don't know. With me, I'm gonna be like, what happened? Why is she mad? What's going on? Yes, I'm a part of the instigator teams. Like down. So I would know what was going on. And a lot of the fights, at least around like my age range, were scheduled. A lot of them were scheduled in the bathroom. A lot of them were scheduled during lunch, you know, anywhere, gym. Sometimes they would be like this one little area that you could kind of like the gym teacher wouldn't really like check and like see you at over by the water fountains, by Mr. What's his name's office. And they would be like fight over there and then be like, okay. And like he'd never know. He'd have no clue. You know, so many scheduled fights. Half the time teachers didn't even know about it. But I'll never forget this because there was these two girls. I wasn't really friends with them for real. Like one of them was friends with my friend. So it was kind of like slight cool by association, but I didn't really rock with her like that. And then the other girl, she was like kind of in like the more popular crowd, like a tier above me of popularity, if you will. So I ain't really like mess with her like that. But these two were beefing, and I wish I could remember why they were beefing, bro. But it was just so like everybody was so curious about the beef because they were like, why, what happened here, you know? Like that was what was really sparking the interest of a lot of people. It's like it was crazy that they were even beefing because the one girl that was a friend of my friend, she was like pretty much unproblematic for the most part. So if she's getting mad, then we were all like, okay, like this is serious, because if she's upset, then what's going on? So they ended up having a scheduled fight and fought, right? And the one girl that usually is unproblematic won. So she learned that, everybody learned that day, don't mess with her. She may be a little bit more quiet. She may not be like as at the top of popularity, but she gonna throw them bows. Like, the popular girl got dragged. It is what it is. And so she lost the fight, like, pretty much badly. I think she was like scraped up too. And then we go home that night, and this is peak MySpace, guys. So we go home. I'm on MySpace, and then I see a status update where she's basically like talking crap. And it's like, I thought in my mind, that is crazy work to go home after losing the fight and then make a MySpace status, like basically talking crap about the fight. Like, you lost. You look crazy. But I guess, she didn't want to go outside. So to show her anger in the moment, a post fight, she updated her MySpace page, and I, for some reason, will just never forget this memory, because I'm like, oh, like, it's getting real. Like, we might have a round two, and she seems so upset that this round two, she might win, is what I was thinking in my mind. It just felt so serious and so intense, because this was when you could customize, every single thing on your MySpace page. So she changed her profile, and this was like, she was one of those people that was known for like being really good at it. She always had a good page. She would even do other people's pages. So she knows how to code. Okay, women in STEM early teens. And she like edited her page to where it was all red, and then she had like these like animated like flames moving up and down in the background, and it just felt like I had like clicked into like the devil's like the devil's MySpace page. Like, you click on it and you're like, the devil, he has a MySpace page? Like, that's what it felt like, in my opinion, when I was at that age. I'm like, I'm in hell. I'm in literal hell. I'm looking around, and all I see is red fire, flames, anger, 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 fierce, fierce, fierce. Like, the fact that she put so much work to show how angry she was into her whole page aesthetic, like, gagged me. And then to, like, icing on the top of it all, like cherry on top, I should say, was she also changed her song. The songs that you could change to play when you automatically went to somebody's page. And it was I'm Going In by Lil Wayne. And if you know, like, I'm Going In is just, the song is so vulgar that the clean version, there's like a couple of times where there's just music, because he's cussing that much.
It's just instrumental.
It's just instrumental because he's cussing that much. So if you never heard I'm Going In by Lil Wayne, maybe you should listen to it so you can really feel the energy that she was trying to give in that moment. Like, it was fierce. And I just remember being like so shook and being like, wow. Like, me just being so stater, like, oh, it's going down. And in the end, they ended up not fighting again after that. Sadly, I would have loved to see part two.
I hate it when people fought. I'm like, this is so unnecessary. This is so dumb and stupid. Why are you even like, ugh. I always was just like, my God, you're just causing a scene. Relax.
I'm so sad to say that I've never been in a fight, bro. And
sad?
I am sad.
I'm not.
Sad.
Girl.
Because me being the type of person I am,
29. You don't, that's not what you need to be sad about.
No, man. I just feel like I would have wished that I could have just had one fight, bro. Like, I don't know if I could fight. Like, I don't know.
Obviously you can, because you're fighting me.
Oh.
For doing nothing.
Oh, but that's not even fair. It was always a power imbalance there. I was strengthening you. Well, you have some muscles, I tell you.
Yeah, but like,
but I'm just talking about, like, fair fight, not with my little sister, messing with my little sister like during my delinquent days. Guys, PSA, like we don't have that type of relationship anymore. Okay, I was just a little booger back then. But like fair fight, like fighting somebody in middle school, it was a couple times where I've like gotten into heated arguments with a couple girls, and I'm like, is this gonna be my time? I'm like anticipating because I'm like, I want to fight and see, can I fight? I know that's like mentally ill to say.
It is.
So like now, I don't have any interest in ever doing that, of course. But I just wish I would have got one middle school fight in. I don't know why.
You and I have very different school related regrets.
Yeah, yeah. Because like, oh my god, there was this one time. I feel like I should have. Never mind. Anyways, because I should have swung. Because she really had me effed up. But whatever. So yeah, and then like I remember one time my friend, she was also coincidentally fighting that same girl. Now that I think about it, that same girl that lost. That same girl that lost and changed her MySpace, my friend was gonna fight her too. And they had a scheduled fight. But so they're getting ready to fight and it's lunchtime. And I remember like me and my other friend, it was we were a trio. And so she was like, somebody hold my earrings. And we were like, ooh, like we were just so lit and excited for the fight for no reason. And I'm like, oh yeah, like I finally get the opportunity to be like this proximity to a fight. Like this is my friend, like my best friend fighting. So it's really, really serious. You know what I mean? So now I got to be the one to be like, yeah, part of the gang. You know what I mean? I'm like, I'm a directly part of the crew backing her up. So I felt so much tremendous pressure. You know what I mean? And then like, she was like, somebody hold my earrings. So then she gave us her earrings. And then we were like, okay, you hold one, I hold the other hoop. Like now we're dividing the hoop responsibility. Like we're protecting those hoops with our dear life. And then next thing you know, they're just sitting next to each other and it's at lunch. So like similarly to the other story, they're trying not to look like they're about to fight. So then they're like, you hit me. And they're like, no, you hit me first. You hit me. No, you hit me first. So then my friend was like, okay, and made the move and punched her in her thigh. And I'm like, ooh. So we're all like, what you gonna do now? Next thing you know, they get up and then a little bit of commotion starts, and then the teachers kind of like catch on to what's going on and they break them up, and then all of a sudden the other girl wants to be like, ah, yeah, and it's like, girl, I hate a girl that wants to start acting a fool when they get held back. Like now you want to turn up? Where was that energy when it was literally giving face to face, brother? But that just shows like how petty I am, because I'm like, no, she ain't about it, yeah. Like, no, that was embarrassing, honestly.
Those kinds of things were not on my mind during school.
Right.
I went to school to learn and come back home. I don't know what kind of shenanigans you were up to.
I ain't never went to, but during that time in elementary, none of my elementary was spent ever caring about learning. All the way up until 8th grade, I went to school to have fun, turn up with my friends, be all up in the business. Like, I didn't care. And somehow I was still an all A student.
I went to school to learn.
I never cared. I didn't care about learning until 9th grade for real. Because then high school hit and I'm like, dang, high school's kind of hard. I guess I can't be on my shenanigans here for real. And even then, I still was slightly on shenanigans in 9th grade. And like, my grades got kind of bad. Because then I really got caught up in like drama even more. I'm like, oh, I thought my elementary drama was crazy. Middle school drama? No. 9th grade, 10th grade drama was even crazier. But yeah, any other like memories we could think about like elementary? Like, what are your fondest or like most annoying memories? I remember that one time you got detention.
Yeah.
What'd you get detention for?
Because I like said a singular word to my friend when, because she wanted to read my book because we were doing these tests and we had both finished early, and so she asked if she could see my book and I gave it to her. And then the teacher already didn't like me because you were like bullied the teacher the year before. So she just thought,
I don't think I've ever publicly told that story.
Yeah, that's what you were saying when you said you went to school. You didn't go to school to learn. You were a nuisance. And then I freaking got the hard end of it because this teacher specifically didn't like me because of that. And she was the one who told my dad about the fact that I was going with this boy too. And she like I got peer pressured into letting one of my friends copy my homework. And then for some reason she felt the need to do it in the hallway as we were transitioning classes, and then that same teacher found it and then like called us out. And once class started, because we had her class next, she called both of us out and was like, you know, she was ripping up our stuff. And
Did you cry?
yeah, because
Oh
I'm
my
like,
God, I know it.
I never knew how to say no to my friends. And so she was like,
Thank God you're so better at boundaries now.
yeah, but she was like, she felt the need to do it in front of the teacher for some reason. She wasn't very right.
What an idiot.
Jeez. We're kind of dragging her. Anyways, yeah, I got detention for like 3 days because I like said yeah to one of my friends that she could borrow a book. And like, yeah, the teacher did say like, if I see anybody talking, you'll get detention. But it's like, it's not like we were over here being like gossiping. She asked for a book and freaking I gave it to her like a studious child that I
You
was.
could have nodded.
Anyways,
But still, bro.
so
I feel bad about that because that teacher ended up hating me because we decided that we were going to like kind of write a burn book of sorts and talk crap about every
her
single
and her
teacher.
friends, not me. I
Yeah.
had nothing to do with that.
Guys,
This
once
is like
again,
2
I'm
years
going to
before
let-
I got into that grade that the teacher was teaching.
Yes, this was a 7th grade teacher. And once again, like I'm no longer messy. I'm no longer problematic. Like I'm actually a really changed person. But during that time, I was just on my delinquent era, like I said, and we created a burn book, and I've like had some choice words about this teacher because she had did something that made me mad, and I talked crap about her, and then we would like pass it around, and anytime a teacher would do something that made us mad, we would like change their card. We came up with like a card system because if you guys
The
don't
color
know,
card system.
yeah, how did the card system go? Like,
Green, yellow, and red.
yeah, so if you guys don't like, I don't know how many schools do that, but it's
It
kind of
was
like,
very much like an early elementary school thing where there was this thing of like colored cards and a bunch of slots with every student's name on it, and you started the day off on green, and then if you got in trouble, you know, you would change it to yellow for a warning, and then if you had to change it again, it was red, and then you'd be in trouble.
yeah. So having to get up and like when you did something bad and the teacher says get up, go change your card, I'd be sick about it.
Yeah.
Because even though I was a delinquent, I still didn't like getting in trouble. I often didn't actually get in trouble. I don't know how. I don't know how I didn't get in trouble more often, honestly. But and I think it's mainly because I also was like smart and had good grades at the same time, so it was like easier to keep it the facade. I don't know, but I think she had made me change my card, and I was like, "Girl, skip you." And she found out about it because like I was trying to pass it to my friend, and she was taking forever to grab it. So then she saw it, and then read it, and got upset, and then like stormed out the classroom to like go get the principal or something. I'll never forget sitting there and like being salty and crying, and then they being like, "So you gonna get in trouble when you get home?" Like, no, I'm usually the instigator, now y'all instigating me. Like, you gonna get a whooping? I'm like, I don't know. Dad came up to the school.
That was the first time you ever got suspended.
Yes, and I was so mad because we got suspended because we had a field trip coming up, and I couldn't go to the field trip, bro. Oh my God, I regret that so much. Like, I literally genuinely apologized to that lady like down and like genuinely cleaned up my act after that, and like,
Well, she didn't care because she was still hating me, and then
That's
she
true.
gave me detention.
yeah. But I feel like a lot of times like other people that were like in power were just always so questionable. Like now that I look back, it's like how is this person qualified to work here? Like a lot of them, like specifically there was 2 guys who were the siblings of this one dude, and it's like now he's our gym teacher.
The dude was like principal-ish type person. I don't know what he
Yeah.
did. He was
It's
somebody
like,
important.
right. He was always the person you call when you need to be disciplined. And he was
He
very
was
scary.
yeah, he was like for some reason we thought that little tiny man was the scariest person that had ever existed.
Yeah. And then his brother ended up becoming our gym teacher and then eventually like coaching the basketball team. And I'm like, this freaking, why is he here? And then he would like also be on some like pedo vibes and like
Yeah,
flirt with my friend.
he would very much flirt with like the cute girls. Mind you, this school goes up to 8th grade, so like maybe 13 at the oldest. And that's like, I assume at the time he was maybe like 22.
Yeah, I would assume. Now that I think about it, so many of our teachers were around that age. Like your third grade teacher, she was young. I don't know. I feel like a lot of them like had it out for me. Also because like our dad worked at our school, and they
Yeah,
just
he worked
knew.
at our school for a little bit, and then it was just this. We were also just kind of like semi known siblings, a semi known family, because we had gone there since you started in 1st grade, I started in kindergarten, and you went from 1st to 8th, which is like basically the whole thing. I went from kindergarten to 7th grade. So like we were known. We were the sisters. We were the family.
The Reynolds sisters, the Reynolds family.
Yeah.
I think it also is because our dad worked there, but then they also knew him because our parents were like involved like in the what is it, the PTA?
Yeah, they did that for a little bit, but
They would
also
pop popcorn on Fridays.
we were also just known because we were parented a bit differently, I think. Not to shade other people from the school, but like we were brought up differently than our peers.
Yeah, we've heard it all. You talk white, you're Oreo. So I think
You talk like a white girl. You talk so proper.
yeah. So that automatically just kind of like universally made us different. And then on top of that, with the fact that like, for a while our mom was involved. But then eventually like she didn't really come around for real. So much so that some people were like, "Oh, I didn't know your dad was married." And I'm like, "The freak, yes. I have a mom and a dad." I forgot what teacher said
The
that.
years that we spent in that hallway waiting for our mom to pick us up, like there was
Bro.
this hallway, this very long hallway at our school. It felt like it went on for miles. And our school was very like, we're preparing our students for succeed in the future. It was very like thinking about college type school. It was like, we're preparing our children for.
And the curriculum was actually bull crap.
Yeah. So this hallway had a name, and it was called College Boulevard.
Yes.
And you know how when it's time to pick up students from school after school, usually in like the warmer seasons, the students are outside in the front of the school.
And they have like a pickup system. You're supposed to like put something in your window. That never worked.
Yeah, but so and then
It was
after
like by alphabet we would stand outside of like our designated area.
so after maybe like an hour, it felt like an hour. It probably was only like 30 minutes. If you didn't get picked up, it was time to go back inside and sit in College Boulevard. And then your parent, once they finally did come, they would have to like come inside and sort of be like, "Hey," and then you get your stuff.
How y'all doing?
Yeah. School got out at 3:30. We were often there until maybe like almost 5 o'clock because our mom worked. What shift did she work? She worked.
I think she had always worked third.
Yeah. And she
And she
worked
also worked 16-hour shifts, like the bad boss
at that
she
time.
is.
Yeah. And she worked in the emergency room at our local hospital. So she was sleeping.
Understandably
Majority of
tired.
our childhood was spent and be like, well, mom sleep.
No, for
Like
real.
she was awake in the morning to take us to school, but like
barely making my peanut butter jelly sandwich. Like,
yeah. So by the time school got out, she had like most likely had just got to sleep, and so we would like wait there for like
and then sometimes they would take us to the office and like call home.
yeah. If
She
you were
ain't
waiting,
answering.
If you waited for too long, you would the teachers would be like, all right, go to the office, call your parents.
Which I'm like,
'Cause
well, I gotta. Shouldn't you have the number on
this was
file?
before cell phones and stuff. So
Yeah.
um at least before they were popular for young children, this was,
I didn't have a cell phone until like 6th grade.
yeah.
So yeah.
We would just be sitting in that dang hallway waiting for mom to pick us up. There was also this time where so me, you, and our mom lived with our grandma for a little bit. And so that was nice because, we didn't have to wait on our mom to pick us up during that
That was the only
time.
nice benefit of living with that lady.
Yeah, she would pick me up from school. And one day, I guess my mom was also off of work that day, and I was waiting, I was outside looking for either my mom. I was looking for my mom, but then my granny showed up and was like, "Come on, Janay." But I also had saw my mom at the same time, and so I didn't know what to do. So I just like walked past my mom's car and like got into my granny's car, and my mom was like freaking out. She was like, "What are you doing? Where are you going?" She was like so scared. I'm like, Granny's here too. And then my mom and Granny were like, "Oh, what? What's happening?" And then my granny just was like, "Okay, well, you go with your mom then." And then my grandma went home, and that was just a funny day. That was like, not they both came to pick me up at the same time.
Oh my god. Yeah. And then I had it like even more intensely because not only like would she be late after school picking us up, but then I also had an extracurricular activity with cheerleading. So every practice, I'm the last girl to get picked up, bro. So much so that like my best friend at the time would be like, my mom said she could take you home. Like, girl, give me a ride, bro.
Well, people used to genuinely offer. Like, when we were little, some of the teachers would even be like, "I'll drive you home." And our mom would just be like, "No," for some reason.
Yeah.
Which, like, I guess it's understandable, but also
on top of that, I had like Saturday practices. She never came on time to pick me up. Then the only time we ever got picked up on time, like you said, is if Granny came to get us. And I think that's why I have like on time trauma now. I hate being late. I don't like being late. Do you?
No.
I know mom like genuinely just doesn't even care. Sometimes it's just like, I'll get there when I get there, and I'm like, you don't think you should call? Like if she's late for an appointment,
right?
She's like, no, I'm just gonna show up, and I'm like, okay. And then like speaking of school, the other day I was like cleaning up my room since I'm like moving, and I came across this like academics book that dad made me a long time ago. I think you know what I'm talking about. It's a binder, and it's like full of like,
isn't there some of my stuff in there?
Yes, half of it is your stuff, half of it is mine, and it's like all of our achievements that
so how come you got to keep it and not me?
I don't know, I'm just that girl. I'm the eldest, so I keep all of our good things, our important life things.
Like a Mindless Behavior t-shirt.
Oh my god, guys, if you know, you know. I just recently, like, this moving process has like really just shown me how much stuff I truly just have to let go for nostalgic purposes. And I called Janay and I'm like, I am really having a hard time letting go of this Mindless Behavior #1 Girl Tour t-shirt.
Because you and I, around like 2009, 2010, 2011, maybe 2010, 2011, were very big fans of the boy group Mindless Behavior,
we were Mindless Behavior
fans. As was any little black girl at the time.
Yes.
But yeah, I was like, I liked them for about.
That was our first concert, like for real. Yeah. Mindless Behavior at the #1 Girl Tour.
Like they were a big deal to us, but also like I liked them for maybe about 2 years, and then I found One Direction. I was like, I'm out of here. And so
yeah,
Kristen and I had these shirts with Mindless Behavior on them, and I don't even like. I think I got rid of mine maybe in like 2013, honestly. And so the fact that Kristen at 29 in 2025, the year of 2025, Mindless Behavior has been broken up since like maybe 2014. Rock Royal is in prison. Like. It's not a good time for Mindless Behavior out here. Yeah, Kristen is
and
like
Prodigy are doing dance classes. Like, it's
Kristen
crazy.
for some reason was like called me and just like a week
Distraught.
ago and was like, I have to tell you, I decided to get rid of my Mindless Behavior t-shirt. I'm like, girl, I don't give a frick. I don't care. I got rid of that thing. Like,
And then we proceeded to talk about how dirty you did me when I was sad when we found out that Prodigy left the group.
girl, I'm sorry. I did not care about them boys. I had 4 British and 1 Irish man on my mind.
I was worried about Harry dating Taylor Swift.
Literally, that was my thing to worry about in 2013, and about when the Take Me Home tour was gonna start. One Direction's first ever arena tour.
And I come crying in there, and Janay's
I'm taking a shower. Kristen comes crying. I'm deep into my One Direction days, so I genuinely don't care. Like, love y'all, Mindless Behavior. If you see this, Princeton, I'm sure you'll be lurking.
Yeah. I'm gonna do hashtag Mindless Behavior.
He'll
too,
see it too. So love you. Love you, Princeton. But
down.
I was like, I don't care. I'm into One Direction.
Kristen
comes in crying. I'm taking a shower.
Like,
She's
don't
like,
really care.
how did she left Mindless Behavior? I'm like, girl, go to bed.
I'm stressed out because I'm like, at that point I was still in it, and I did like my One Direction as well, but I wasn't giving up on Mindless Behavior. I was not. I didn't want to. Yeah, so here we are, the year our Lord and Savior 2025, and I'm like, bro, I'm like effed up about this. Like, I really don't want to throw away my Mindless Behavior shirt, but it's like, I know that there's no reason for me to keep this. Like, could not fit it. You know what I'm saying? Definitely don't have my middle school body. Like, what? So, I was literally just keeping it for keepsake purposes. And I'm like, I think I need to, because it's like the way I'm moving right now with this move, it's like I'm trying to bring as little as possible. Because like now that I'm about to go into my 30s, it's like, girl, let's be real. Like, you
like, why did you moved to that apartment in 2021?
And I brought that with me.
Over 10 years since like anything Mindless Behavior related even happened. Why did that even come with you in the first place? Was my question.
Looked at my stuff and looked at that shirt before moving to this place and said, yep, I'm bringing it with me. It should have never left our room.
You should have threw that away
when I moved out
in 2021.
Yeah, but in 2025 I'm like, maybe it's time.
Maybe. Girl, it was time 13 years ago.
I was so sick about it, bro. Oh my god.
I'm sorry I didn't support you, but I'm like, you're crying over Mindless Behavior in 2025.
No, my Shayla. So let's get down.
You came with your girl, just broke up with your boy. Let's do it. It's okay, girl. I got you now. Step on up. We're gonna work. Let the music play. Don't you get it, babe. It's your time. In 3 seconds, I can make you mine. We're starting out with 3. It's very bad a thing. We're gonna do you count to 2. No, it's just me and you. You can be my number 1, girl. That's right. Be my number 1. Be my number 1. Be my number 1, girl. 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 Hey. Hey, whoa, you my number 1. You know what? Other one I was thinking about recently.
What?
You are everything I ever dreamed of being a girl.
I didn't really like that one that much.
You rock the attitude you got. I could go circle the world, come back, and I still won't find a star that shines. Bright as you, more than the moon, girl. I sure won't mind if you were mine. In fact, I insist you do. If your love was a beat, I'd put you on a beat, yeah. Listening to MB, you'll never ever leave if you're rocking with me, yeah. Yeah.
That was written by Ayaz. But I need you like the sun, I wanna make you the one.
I don't remember if that got a physical release. That was one of my favorites. And then also,
I think that was just a
one day
song.
I'll be older and wiser,
yeah.
One day I'll be somebody's provider, yeah. One day, yeah, I'm gonna be able to do all of these little things. Yeah, one day I'll be calling and driving instead of walking. Take you where you want to take you shopping in the mall. Listen up, little lady. There's a kickback in my area. Skaters and ballers jerking. See that? Hysteria. Red cup in your hand. They leaving. You staying. Nah, I'm just playing. Just putting the ball in your hand. Let's go. So come on. Go get over here. Shawty, we got things to do. Let's go. It's over me and you. Come on. Go get over here. Shawty. Look it up, girl. Look it up, girl. Leave it all to me. It's gonna be us, y'all. It's a party, y'all. Everybody that can head to this be you and me. And be on my necklace, J's on my feet. Money on my mind, BPM on the beat. Yeah. Cop this release. 4 bars in the intro, courtesy of me, Rock. And I think only the real ones know. Pitch Black Wayfarers on AM, PM. Lifesaver Watchboard Drill European.
Oh my God.
LAX Curbside Escalade Win. See something you like? Hit me up on the DM. I'll hit you back. You need a ride? Tell me where you at. I'm trying to see your pretty face waiting on me backstage. Big game, hot enough to knock you over, make you fall for me.
That just proves how many live performances
before the Dickie Simmons version. And remember, this is right now. I need a right now. Y'all don't know about the Rock Royal version with the Rock Royal rap. Pitch Black Wayfarers on AM PM.
Yeah, but it's been a big process of like me having to let go of a lot of stuff. I'm like, dang, like even some of my K-pop things, I'm like, I need just a couple of these things. I even left some of my K-pop photo books in Janay's room 3 years later.
Sitting here since 2021. Collecting dust.
Yeah, I gotta get to that. And she's always like, when you gonna get this? And I'm like, I don't know.
I've been asking you for 3 years. Ains for 4 years. You also left a trash can full of trash. You had your own little trash can at your desk when you lived here, when we shared a room.
One?
Yeah, and I didn't throw that away. You moved out in 2021. I don't think I threw away that trash can until 2023. Because
when you think about it, I was in 2021 had a Hannah Montana trash can at my desk.
We had that since,
that just shows how much
since
I
like 2009,
stuff, bro.
It was this Hannah Montana trash can. It was metal and it had a pop lid. And you were being a delinquent. You would put all your freaking blunt shavings into it and your dab stuff. So it was full of nonsense and drug paraphernalia. But
don't even say, when you say it like that, it sounds like some crazy stuff. Like I was doing hard.
I just like to mess around. It's just so funny to pretend like weed is hard drugs. But either way, the trash can wasn't full of like gross trash. It was just like trash that you accumulate at a desk.
Guts.
Yeah.
Guts. I know you despise.
And I don't know, me being the sweetie pie I was, for some reason that was the thing I chose to attach myself to. Like, this is the last part of Kristen from when we shared a room. And I didn't throw that trash and that trash can away until 2023. That's how much I love you. Ew.
No, that's actually
gross.
Grody. Now you have a cuter trash can. It says trash on it.
I know, but I also, you know what? So you're not the only one who kept things for too long, because I kept your literal garbage and was like, my sister. No, the actual trash that you had was in there, and I'm just like, for some reason, this garbage means the world to me. Like, that's how much I like you.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah, I mean, the desk is mine now. I don't even associate it with you anymore.
For a while, you did. You were like, I don't know if I can.
Yeah, until you were like, this is your desk. And so I'm like, okay, it's mine. But like, I just figured that I was just borrowing it until I'm like waiting for the day when one day you're like, I actually need that desk back. And then I just put all my stuff on the floor or something. I was scared to like mess it up. But now that you're like, it's yours, I'm like, well, now I can like get nail polish on it and stuff and markers and not feel bad.
Yeah. I can't wait to get my new desk or my coloring. I finally have a space for my coloring. I was just telling Janay that, when I move, I want to have her help me like, set up my podcast like background and make it a little bit cuter for you guys who like watch on YouTube. So I'm looking forward to that. I thought about like doing like a little moving vlog series, but like I ain't got an Emmy child.
It's already too much work to just move in itself.
Literally.
Don't do that.
Don't do it. I've already injured myself, so I have to take a break for the next couple of days for like all my moving shenanigans and just rest because I hurt my back and like my left wrist is hurting. And I'm like, girl, what the freak? Like, how hard in the pain was I going? No waka. Like, I'm effed up. And then I got my shots, a flu shot and a tetanus shot on Monday. Oh, if you see, y'all, if you were watching this on YouTube, she just act like she was gonna hit me in my shot arm. And that would have had me screaming, bro. Y'all would have had me see me having a mental breakdown on film. My arms are so sore. Apparently, you're supposed to get a tetanus shot every 10 years. I haven't had one since I was 11, she said. And I'm like, okay.
Oh. So we all could just be walking around getting tetanus?
I guess. But I got a double doozy, bro. Flu and tetanus, one in right, one in left arm. So it's like been uncomfortable to sleep with my messed up back and messed up wrist. I'm like, I'm effed up all around, bro. It's been really difficult those a couple of days, man. I tell you. Took some ibuprofen this morning again. Like the free, I'm not playing with this pain. So, and then still proceeded to like clean up a few things on my desk. I'm like, I can't help myself. I'm so ready to get out of this place. And then we can do some podcast episodes in the new space in person too.
For some reason, I just started thinking about when we were little and we lived at our like actual childhood home. We had this tent, this Bratz tent, and we were too.
Oh my god, I forgot about that.
We were too scared. We weren't like camping outdoorsy type of girlies. So
we've never been an outdoor girl. We've never been outdoor girls.
Like we did play outside as kids, but like not for like a long time.
Yeah,
not every single day during the summer. Like,
and it was mostly because we wanted to be like with the sprinkler.
We like being in the house watching Disney Channel. I don't know what to tell y'all.
Playing games
on DisneyChannel.com, on everythinggirl.com, playing Barbie. Let's go for a ride.
If you don't know about taking
I'm
care of that baby
about
on
the
Barbie.
Games, girl.
Yeah, what's that baby's name?
Chrissy. Anyways,
I'm gonna put a picture of Chrissy.
So we
you were just playing that game in 2024.
I still play all those games on my iPad and on my laptop. Oh yeah, we had a tent, and like instead of using it outside like, you know, normal kids, we were like, well, let's go camping in the living room. And for some reason our dad would be on board, and he would like, we would set up the tent. Do you remember those little poles, those things that we used to use?
Yes.
Yeah.
I like to put the ends of the nubs in my mouth.
I mean, I did too.
Sick.
So yeah, we would like, the tent was big enough for both of us to fit in there, and
I barely remember this.
We would put like covers and like blankets down, and we would just like,
we have snacks.
Yeah, and we would just like,
we eat cheesy beef taco in there.
Probably.
Man, hamburger helper, bro. If y'all know what's good for you, you will bring back cheesy beef taco. Stop playing.
Yeah, and I just remember sleeping in there. It was like, you know, a tent, so it was made out of some type of plastic material, and you would wake up, it would smell like sweat in there. It'd be tired. It'd be like your body would hurt because you're sleeping on the floor and not on a mattress. And I don't know, it was just a crazy time. It was always so exciting to sleep in the tent though, but it was painful and sweaty.
Sometimes we would sleep on the pull-out couch in the living room.
Yeah, that was where we first watched the premiere of the High School Musical. On New Year's, we had the pull-out couch, and me, you, and our mom watched in 2006. Watched the premiere of High School Musical.
Oh my god, I didn't know it was specifically pull-out couch teen. Bro.
Yeah.
Oh, I've debated on getting a pull-out couch, but they're so heavy. I remember we used to like do like forts, like build little like.
Oh my god, taking
couch
the couch cushions off and like playing with them, and for some reason we would always eat marshmallows in the fort. The big,
like, we're outdoors.
Yeah, remember we used to cook marshmallows with a blowtorch in the basement with our dad. He would roast marshmallows with we were such non-outdoorsy people. Like, why were we using a blowtorch?
Dad would like kill spiders with the freaking the lighter.
Yeah, he would put lighter fluid. There would be a spider in the basement. One time, he like put a ring of lighter fluid around it, and then
What? A ring?
yeah, and then he set the ring on fire, and then the spider had nowhere else to go, and it was a very that still has an impact on my brain to this day. I remember seeing that and being like,
Because you
"Ding
don't like
dong, the witch is
spiders.
dead," but like, word to Elphaba. But
Right.
also, I was like, maybe this is kind of messed up.
Yeah, we were like heavy on like we don't want to go outside. We did everything that people normally do outdoors, indoors. The
We
freak.
would be on the hula hoop. We would jump rope. We would roller skate around in our basement. Like, it was also,
You would have thought it was a park down there.
no, literally, like a national park. It was also because, as we previously mentioned, our mom was a hashtag certified sleepy girl, 365 sleepy girl. How about that?
Yeah, no, 365 Sleepy Girl.
If our dad was gone and our mom was the only one home, but she was hashtag sleeping, then like, you can't go outside. At least we weren't allowed to.
Yeah.
If nobody else was out there with us. Very rarely. We only were allowed to go outside
That makes me think
sometimes.
about like Nickelodeon Worldwide Day of Play, and I'm like, I don't want to go out there.
I mean,
I don't want to go out there.
it's nice to know now that most kids just went to Disney Channel. I thought we were like the lame. I thought we were doing something bad, but I'm learning on TikTok that on the Nickelodeon Worldwide Day of Play, most kids were just like, F that. I'm going to Disney Channel and I'm eating some cereal.
If you were lucky to have Disney Channel,
But
at the
yeah,
time,
we didn't
too.
have Disney Channel, I think. So I
For a
remember,
while.
we like almost, I think
That
I
it would be
remember
on the TV all day until it was finally over.
I have this distinct memory of us turning on Nickelodeon and almost being like, there's no way it's actually real. There's no way they're for real not showing anything. And I remember we went to Nickelodeon and we just stood in front of the TV all sadly. And we were like, we can't go outside because mom's sleeping. So like, we just had to play in our room.
Which was cool. You know, we had
Yeah.
toys galore.
But yeah, we would be roller skating down in the basement. We would be doing all sorts of stuff. Like, it was crazy.
We could put on a circus down there. Sell tickets. A real sister circus.
Like,
Like,
yeah.
for as much as we were doing down there. Like, what the freak? Literally, I would pretend that I was like a figure skater and like play instrumentals on our keyboard. And they'd be like, introducing Kristen Reynolds doing her number. And like, just,
Girl, the imagination between us was off the charts when we were kids.
bro.
Even to this day, I think we're both could still, like, if me and you decided to just come up with a story right now, I feel like we probably could.
Remember towards the days like before like I moved out, like when we were around like not a couple years before I moved out, we had that one night we were like up talking in the dark and we were like coming up with like a 5 sauce story.
It was a story about One Direction and 5 sauce. Yeah.
Yes. And we were like, and then Michael will come in and then Callum will do this. And it's like we can literally make up anything
Yeah.
and jump off of each other and workshop. Like what?
So yeah, we would play Caroline and Carolina.
Oh my god. Guys, Carolina is a game that we made up when we were young about these two long lost sisters, and one of them was like I think from Michigan and the other one was
it
from
was
Texas.
basically the Parent Trap.
Yeah. No, for real, it was. What? And one of them was from Texas and one of them was from Michigan. So then
No, one of them was from Carolina.
oh right.
Yeah, one was from Carolina, one was from like up in the cities somewhere.
And I would have like an accent. And then it'd be like, Carolina. And we'd be like longingly reach for each other, like but then we were like long lost sisters.
We would
Or
play
that game
Who's
we
Got
played
Talent for Saturn.
Saturn.
Our mom, we had a big exercise ball, a gray exercise ball when we were little. It would stay in the basement, and we would pretend that this ball was our dog, and we named it Saturn because if you put a hula hoop around the exercise ball and sort of put it at an angle, it looks like the planet Saturn.
Yeah.
So we would play.
We'd pretend that we were on America's Got Talent and be like, here I am with my dog Saturn. He's gonna do some tricks.
No, Who's Got Talent for Saturn was the prize.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, if you did, we would just.
I could have sworn we
We
had one
used
game
it-
where that was that though.
I mean, probably, but we would be it basically was just an excuse for us to do like little dance routines as
a talent show.
And then at the end, like either one of us would win, and then we would win Saturn as a
and one of us would pretend to be like Simon Cowell.
Yeah.
It'd just be me. Like,
I remember
rude.
I had this like alter ego. I don't remember the name of it, but I remember when I would do my talent show as Janay, I would be like, you'd give me low score because I would be very like awkward and like nervous. But then when I was like being this, you know, Sasha Fierce, if you will, this alter ego, I would be like a pop star. I would be rocking the stage, and you'd be like, I will win. I will win Saturn often, actually.
Good to know that I was like fair.
Yeah.
In that way of giving you Saturn. Oh my gosh. Yeah. And then like when we would like when our dad lived in an apartment complex, we would go outside and play in the rain.
God.
And pretend to be lost orphans in the rain.
This was when we were older. This is when we were allowed to be outside without adult supervision. Yeah. Our dad lived at this big apartment complex. It felt so big. I bet if we were to drive into it now, it'd be like, ooh, done facing.
It's still pretty much big. I drove by there recently.
But like, this is like the 2010s, maybe like 2009, 2010. So like, technology is getting up there, but also it's like, we knew how to have fun without it because we were like early 2000s kids. So technology wasn't like a super normal thing up until that point. So our dad would be gone at work. We were allowed to start leaving the house, and like even on days where it would be pouring down rain, for some reason it seemed like that was when we most liked to do it. We would just walk.
There's just something about the rain that made it feel so like
we would walk around the apartment complex jumping in puddles, and we would pretend that we were little homeless girls. And
how are we gonna find food?
And I'd be like, I don't know, Kristen. Then we come back home with our dad, and he would make us hamburgers and Easy Mac.
Oh, bruh, something about those burgers, bro, and that macaroni combo, especially once we like would have our pool days.
Something about being a child in a pool makes you hungrier than you've never experienced it in your life.
Famished boots.
And then that time I almost drowned and died in the pool.
That was scary.
It was like,
because for some reason Janay would do a run and then stop.
Let me tell the story. Dang. So we were like, it was that summer. You had just learned how to jump into the pool, and I had never learned how to swim. You taught yourself how to swim. I would sort of just like bounce around on my tippy toes, and then remember that time when I went down too far, and you had to like come swim, and because like it was getting to the point where like my toes weren't touching that floor anymore.
She was gonna go under.
I was gravitating towards the deep end. I'm like, Kristen, help me, help! She had to come and pull me back to the shallow end. But yeah, you had learned how to run and jump into the pool, and I was always too scared to do that. I could jump in the pool from like standing, but I couldn't, like, for some reason my brain can comprehend running and then like jumping in. So I would run, stop, and then jump. And so we were like being like, all right, let's race. And so then thankfully our dad was there too that day. And
Mom was there that day too, I
think. She
wasn't. Oh, okay.
But yeah, we were racing, we ran, I stopped, and then for some reason when I stopped, I was supposed to jump, but I ended up like falling forwards head first into the pool. Don't know how to swim, don't know how to hold my breath underwater.
I think she was like literally right by the stairs.
Yeah, I somehow fell into like the shallowest part of the pool.
Extremely shallow.
I was only down.
It's one of those moments where you're like, just stand up.
And I did just stand up, and then but I remember as I was falling down, I guess I turned my body. This still plays in slow motion for me.
Oh wow.
I can see our dad. He was running to like reach out and try and grab me, but I fell in, and I remember I was underneath the water for like maybe a second or two, and then I like got up, and then our dad was like mad. I was like, let's go, it's time to go. I was like, no, I'm having fun, I just fell in, dang. Um,
I remember him trying
and
to
then
say,
dad,
"Let's go home."
dad was like mad at me for the rest of the day. I was so confused. I think also like as having autism, I was confused why I was in trouble and like why he was mad at me. I guess now I know that he was just scared because
Yeah.
he also couldn't swim, but like I was so confused. I'm like,
We were
I
supposed to
almost,
take swimming lessons as kids. Mom would always talk about it at the YMCA, but we never did.
yeah, I was so confused that day. I'm like, I'm the one who almost died. Why are you mad at me, Dad? And he didn't even make me my Easy Mac after. I was so sad. He was so mad at me. He didn't even make me my after school Easy Mac.
That's that
Yeah.
would have been a point accorded. A court
The
appointed.
court appointed fist fight after that.
I'll see you in the ring,
Yeah. So I'm like,
ma'am. What's the offense? No Easy Mac.
literally.
Like what?
Yeah.
This has been a blast. So make sure you guys follow me on Instagram, TikTok at A Little Bit of Lot Podcast. I also have a coloring account at Coloring with Kristen, and Janay has one as well. Janay Colors. Is that the user, right?
Yeah. Janay Colors. And follow me on my regular Instagram at Janay.99. JANAY.99.
And like I said at the beginning of the episode, be sure to like this video on YouTube, comment down below to let me know what you thought about it, and subscribe, turn those post notifications on, and rate that 5 stars and leave a review on Spotify and Apple. And with that, I will see you guys next week. Bye.
Foreign cars, I make rich look richer. Save your breath, baby, I'm not going home with ya. Mini skirt